and welcome to Healthy Living in Lowell. I'm Kate Elkins from the Lowell Health Department, and this is a production of the Lowell Health Department with many of our community partners. I'm so excited today to have Silvana Flynn on the show from Lowell General Hospital, and she'll be talking to us about stroke. And I have to tell you guys at home, I do not know much about stroke, so I will be learning along with you as Silvana takes us through the basics. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kate. First of all, I wanted to thank you for having me here today and give us the opportunity to provide information about this important topic to our population.
Oh, well, you're so welcome. It's actually, I'm thanking you for coming on the show. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your position at Lowell General. So what exactly do you do?
My name is Silvana Flynn. I am the stroke program manager at Lowell General. I am a nurse, and I have been for many, many years. I oversee everything related to the stroke, data analysis, committees, meetings.
And so what do you do? So a lot of your job, you've explained to me, was stroke education. So what does that look like? Are you educating people in the community or educating doctors and nurses?
We provide both.
Okay.
We do provide education for the staff, physicians, for the nurses, for technicians, and we also do a stroke for the community. We do a lot of outreach programs for our community.
Oh, that's great. And how long have you been in the position?
I have been working for Lowell General for about 2.5 years. I started as a critical care educator, and then I moved to the stroke program about 6 months ago.
Wow.
So I'm new, I'm still learning.
Wow.
But I love it.
Okay, so like I said, we're learning together, but you're the pro. This is an easy one. Just what is stroke and what happens during a stroke?
Well, a stroke is a block of blood flow through the brain.
Okay.
Our brain needs the blood to circulate in order to provide oxygen to our cells, which in the brain, once that blockage develops, so blood is not able to circulate and to deliver that oxygen to the cells. That cells that is deprived of the oxygen will starve and die. And that's what's going to happen. So they are not able to get the nutrients they need, and that cells around will die.
Okay. And what happens? What are some of the things you see that happens during a stroke?
Things that happen during the stroke is the patients, you want to see what the symptoms, you want to see?
Yeah.
So when there is different types of strokes. There is 2 major types of stroke. We have the ischemic stroke and you have the hemorrhagic stroke. And we have a minor type that we call the TIA, which is the transient ischemic attacks.
Who knew?
The transient ischemic attacks, they occur, the ischemic stroke, they develop because of the lack of blood flow caused by a blood clot or some debris that blocks the flow to provide that oxygen and nutrients. However, this is can be a very brief period. It's just, it does not cause any damage to the body. It's like, it can last for about few seconds to a few hours until that blockage is undone and the blood circulates back again. Then we have the ischemic stroke. They cause different types of symptoms mostly. The ischemic stroke happens when the part of the brain loses the blood flow by a blood clot. And the hemorrhagic stroke develops when the vessels within the brain burst or rupture. And then the blood kind of occupies the brain, the space within the brain.
So we're really talking about the brain. When we talk about stroke, we're talking about blood clotting and the brain,
Blood
impacting the brain.
impact the brain. It kind of blocks the blood flow to the brain.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So blocks the blood flow to the brain. And then, as we were talking off camera, you mentioned that then that's where we see the symptoms because the brain's not able to function.
Function.
Yeah. So what
Right.
happens?
And then those symptoms of stroke usually happen very suddenly.
Okay.
It's we sometimes have patients coming in and said we have weakness for a week. With stroke usually has to happen very suddenly.
Suddenly.
Like
Okay.
patient come in with sudden weakness, sudden facial droop. The one side of the face is asymmetrical, or the patient's arm is not, one side of the arm is going to be drooping. The patient has a weakness side of the arm. Suddenly an inability to walk, has a gait imbalance, suddenly inability to speak or to understand what other people are saying. Headaches, severe headache. Sometimes the patient will say they have the worst headache of their life.
Wow. And so when that happens, it's sudden, and so what I do know about stroke, which you mentioned, was the face drooping. Is that always going to happen during a stroke, or that's just one sign of a stroke that could happen?
It is only one sign.
Okay.
Sometimes can happen, sometimes not going to happen. Like I told you before too, the brain is amazing, and the brain is in charge of everything. Sometimes it's all depend. The brain has different parts, has two hemispheres and different parts of the brain. It depends on what part is being affected. What part of the brain has the lack of oxygen.
Okay.
Depending on that part is going to cause that symptom. And also we have the right and the left side brain.
Gotcha.
Usually if you have is the right side of your brain being affected, you're going to develop a defect on the left, the opposite side.
Okay. All right. That makes I think I'm getting it. I think I understand.
And one thing at home that our community can follow is the American Heart Association FAST.
Yes. So tell me about that. So I've seen the magnets. I'm like very basic. Have seen this. So tell me about it. Tell me about FAST.
So we have a new campaign by the American Heart Association that was launched the end of last year. And probably you're going to be seeing it on TVs, radios, and buses because they are just putting out there now. So FAST, which stands for F stands for face. You're going to look at the patient and see if there is any facial droop on either side. You're going to look, the A stands for arm. Again, the weakness of the arm. And S stands for speech. You're going to look at if the patient is speaking properly, the patient is speaking normally as before. Sometimes the patient is not able to speak. Sometimes that is a very normal speech, like you ask the patient, when is your birthday? And they whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right, they can't quite
They
get
can't
the
quite
words
get
out. Okay.
And it's a lack of coordination on speech and understanding. And if any of those symptoms, that is basic symptoms of a stroke, not all the symptoms, but are basic symptoms of a stroke, you should not delay. So time is critical. You should call 911 right away.
So the T stands for time.
T stands for time.
Okay. Wow. So call right away if you see someone or you yourself are seeing those symptoms or signs happening.
Right. And if you are by yourself and not able to get help, you absolutely, if you are able to call, just call.
Wow.
Even though you might not be able to speak on the phone, but the emergency personnel will send you the help that you need.
And as a person wanting to help, if I ever did witness someone having a stroke, is there anything I can do until the emergency responders arrive, or call 911 and then wait with the patient? What would be the next step after calling 911?
Call 911 and wait with the patient. Just make the patient comfortable as possible.
Okay.
Keep the head elevated. Don't let the patient lie flat.
Okay.
Keep the head elevated and just wait with the patient.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And
so
usually the response is very fast.
well, I mean, I think that you mentioned the T is for time. So, I think that we would hope that that we know to say, I think the patient is having a stroke, and then emergency responders know the issue at hand. So, so tell me a little bit about who's at risk for stroke. Are there different populations or different groups that are more at risk to have a stroke?
Yes, that is. According to the national data, the elderly or people that is 65 years older, ethnicity, people African American, Hispanic, or Asian are at higher risk to develop a stroke. People that has family member history of stroke.
Okay.
And patients who had prior GIAs, the mini stroke.
The mini stroke. Okay.
Because GIAs, they are what we call mini strokes. They are usually they don't cause any damage. They will not cause any disability, but they are a warning that you might have a major stroke in the future.
Okay.
So you should be treated as a stroke.
And when would your physician, your primary care physician, start talking to you about stroke if you are one of those populations at risk? Would that be during your office visits, or how would that look?
That's it's dependent on the physician, but you can talk to your physician at any time.
Okay.
You can initiate the conversation. You can ask the questions. That is based on your age, based on your ethnicity, and also risk factors for stroke. There is some things that we call modifiable and non-modifiable.
Okay.
Things that we can change, things we cannot change.
Oh.
Things that we cannot change, our age.
Yep, can't do it.
We can do it. Although I kept telling people that I'm 25. So
Right, me too.
It doesn't
Yeah,
go.
no, not going to change.
No. Our gender, being male and female.
Oh.
So this we cannot change. If we have family history of stroke, or if you have prior GIAs, or if you have prior cardiac disorders like myocardial infarction.
Okay.
Those are high risk, but we cannot change that. Then there is the modifiable risks. People that have some cardiac arrhythmia, such as afibrillation, or diabetes, smoking, having a high blood pressure, heavy drinking of alcohol, and sedentary lifestyle. So those are high risk for stroke that we can change. That is
Okay.
modifiable.
Okay. So what does our region look like? So Lowell, Greater Lowell. I know you brought some statistics from Lowell General about our region specifically, and do we have a lot of? Are you seeing a lot of patients that have stroke or at risk for stroke? So tell me what it looks like
In our area?
In our area.
Yes, we do see a lot of stroke patients. Usually in Lowell General, we see about probably 30 to 50 patients a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very high incidence of a stroke in our area. However, it's a little bit, it's like different in ethnicity, what we see here. Our data indicated that 76% of our population are white. And
That
follow
are having strokes.
that is having stroke.
Okay.
That we see as a heavy stroke at Lowell General.
Okay.
So 76% are white, followed by 12% of Asian, and 70% of Hispanic population.
Wow.
Yeah. In terms of age, we have between 32% and 47% around the age of 56 and 65 years old.
Wow.
So it's a very young population.
So even younger
Even
than
younger
that
than-
risk factor of being 65 and older.
Correct.
Yikes. Okay.
The mean age is probably about 63, 64 years
Oh,
old.
okay.
So it's very young.
Okay. Is there a difference between male and female?
That is, the national data show that female is a higher risk.
Oh, okay.
Yes. On our area, we haven't seen a slight difference, between 1% difference being more male than female.
Wow. And so Lowell General has some distinctions for their your stroke program. What I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but
Okay.
what so knowing that I live in this area, if I have a stroke or had a stroke and I go to Lowell General, tell me what is it the distinction that you guys have?
We have, in terms of research,
Not resources, but is there an award that you guys won for your stroke program, or you're like a distinct national program for stroke education?
yes, absolutely. We are a primary stroke service.
Ah, okay.
Yes, that is a designation by the Department of Public Health and CDC.
Okay.
We also part of the Paul Coverdale, which is a part of the Department of Public Health and the CDC.
Okay.
So that is a designated that is given to facilities with high standard of an ability to care for the
Great.
stroke patients.
Great. Okay.
Oh,
So good. So if I live in Lowell, I know I can go to Lowell General and get great care around stroke.
Absolutely.
Good.
Our physicians, our nurses are well prepared and extremely knowledgeable to care for our stroke patient population.
Good. So we are going to talk a little bit more about prevention when we get back from our break. So stick with us. We just learned all about what a stroke is, what causes a stroke, risk factors. We're with Silvana Flynn, who's the stroke educator and manager at Lowell General. And like I said, when we come back, we'll talk about how to prevent a stroke. Welcome back to Healthy Living in Lowell. I'm Kate Elkins, and on the show today I'm joined with Silvana Flynn from Lowell General Hospital. Thank you, Silvana. Welcome back. We are talking now, we've learned all about stroke, so now we want to know about prevention. So
Thank you.
I asked Silvana just before, I asked you, can you even prevent a stroke? I had no idea. So the answer is yes. But tell me how. Tell me, what is stroke preventable, and how can we prevent it?
Let's talk a little bit about prevention. Yes, a stroke is the 55th leading of cause of death, and is the first cause of disability in U.S.
Oh.
And yes, it is preventable.
Well, that's good news.
So let's take a look at the data at the Lowell General regarding patients with stroke that come to us and medical history. Can we show the data?
Mm-hmm.
So as we see, the high risk for having a stroke includes high blood pressure, high lipids, fat, and cholesterol in the blood, obesity, and diabetes. So all these risks are preventable.
So lifestyle and exercise and diet, it sounds like. Yep. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So what are some of the things that you talk to patients who are at risk about? How can they make those changes? It's hard, right? When you have high blood pressure, you're obese. So what do you talk to about?
Yes, change is hard. Change is difficult. What we talk to our patients, it's keep your blood pressure under control.
Mm-hmm.
So blood pressure, as the data show, is the number one cause of stroke.
Oh, okay. High
So
blood pressure.
high blood pressure
Okay.
is the number one. So control your blood pressure. How can you control your blood pressure? Do blood pressure checks. Go to your doctor, talk to your doctor. Take your medications prescribed by your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely important for you to take your medication. Sometimes the patient forget to take the medication. Sometimes they cannot afford to take the medication.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to your doctors. They will find you a resource so you don't have to skip your medication.
Excellent.
Eat health. Obesity, high lipids and fat in the blood, and diabetes is the second highest cause of stroke in our community.
Oh, diabetes is.
Diabetes as well. So eat health. It's hard to change habits,
Mm-hmm.
but if you wanted to keep healthy, you need to be compliant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying never have a cheeseburger again, but you don't have to have every single day,
Right.
right? Add more fruits and vegetables to your diet. That's going to help lower the risk of strokes.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we all should be doing too, but especially important for those that might be more at risk for a stroke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And quit smoking and vaping. So tobacco and nicotine is a no. This can increase your blood pressure. Okay. And nicotine is going to increase blood pressure, and that is not a good combination to prevent stroke or any heart condition.
And so when someone comes in as a patient and they have had a stroke, are these the same things that you're telling them to do now to modify their lifestyle?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because if we have a stroke now, increase the chances for you to have another stroke again.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And so, so tell me about the resources that you offer at Lowell General to help people modify some of those difficult lifestyle changes. Tell me what happens when you've had a stroke or you're high risk, and what services you can get.
We have many resources at Lowell General to our community. We have the Center for Community Health and Wellness, and they plan and support over 50 events annually to our community here in Lowell.
Oh, that's great.
They do blood pressure screenings, free blood pressure screenings. They do nutrition and education training and health classes, exercise classes.
Wow.
And
a lot of which I understand are free.
they are
A small fee for like the exercise class, but a lot of the programs they run are free.
Yes, the majority of the program
That's great.
they're free. And the majority of the program, like with the blood pressure screenings, we go to the community, we go to events. So anytime that a school or a corporation or we go to a lot of health fairs, they contact us and we get our staff nurses and volunteers and we go and do the free education and screening.
That's great.
It is amazing. And we have a lot of support group as well.
Oh, that's great.
That is
I think that's so important to have the support groups. Tell me about, so you have a specific one for stroke?
We do.
Oh,
we
tell
are
us
bringing
about that.
back the stroke support group.
That's great.
And I brought you the flyer.
Thank you. We'll
Yes.
have that up for our viewers.
It's extremely important where people can get together and talk about family members, caregivers, and patients. Talk about, how hard it is to live after a stroke, and how hard it is to prevent a new stroke or a further stroke.
And who runs the support group?
We have Irene Pro. She's one of the clinical nurse educator.
Oh, great.
And Heather.
Oh, okay.
Heather is one of our community. She's the community outreach. And so they,
Oh, that's great.
yes. And I help too. I'm kind of more the helper. They
Yes,
help.
behind
They are
the
doing
scenes.
behind the scenes. They are doing all the work.
That's great.
We're gonna have our first meeting on February 13th.
Great. And then it will be once a month
It's gonna be once a month.
following. Oh, great.
Yes.
That's an awesome resource. So, anything else that we forgot to mention before we wrap up for the episode?
I think that one thing that's extremely important to take away from a stroke is if you or a family member is having a symptom of stroke, do not delay. Please don't go to bed, don't sleep over, don't wait for the symptoms to go away. Will not go away.
So just call.
Just
Call
call
right away.
911. Call right away. Time is brain. I don't know if you ever heard that, but that's what we call time is brain. Every single minute counts because every single second that the brain is not provided with oxygen, the cell's gonna die, and they will die very fast. There is the only drug approved to treat stroke is a drug called Alteplase.
Okay.
That drug can be given to patients, but it depends on the time that is the patient's brought to us into the emergency room.
Wow.
So the drug can only be given to patients come to us about 3.5 hours to 4 hours after they have the first symptoms.
Wow. Okay.
So time is brain. Please don't delay. Call 911 right away, and don't try to drive your family member to the emergency room. So
Wow. Okay. So that's why the acronym is FAST too. You have to do it fast. I
You
get
have
it
to do
now.
it
I'm going to
fast.
remember that. So where can we go for more information on strokes at Lowell General?
you can go to our website at lowellgeneralhospital.org, and you can click on our emergency department. Under our emergency department, you can go to resource and education, and that will link you to all the information about stroke, warning signs of stroke.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was a pleasure to meet you and to have you on. And we'll have you back. I know that you just mentioned October 29th is
It's Stroke Day, the World Stroke Day.
Stroke Day. So we have
Yes.
plenty of more to discuss.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Kate.
You're welcome. So join us next time on Healthy Living in Lowell as we go over many different health topics to educate our community.